Hello folks, welcome back to yet another video in this video series on programming to Java using BlueJ. So I guess by this time you must be pretty much aware of my previous videos where I've actually explained quite a bit of concepts, including like user input using scanner class and user input using command lines, a bit of loops, do while loops and for loops, and nested loops and printing patterns and functions and function overloading. And yeah, so I actually decided to move on to the next important and the most commonly used topic in programming, introduction to arrays. Yes, and this video is not going to be too long because I'm not going to be discussing too many problem types which can be tackled using arrays, but I'm rather keeping this video pretty simple and short, where I'm going to just explain the basics of arrays. And then I'll have a series of videos following this, probably like 3 to 4 videos, where I'll be discussing about various problem types which has to be solved using arrays, or which is more effective using arrays. Now let's get started. What exactly is an array? Now, most of you must be aware, like when you, let me open this notepad, close this thing up, let me expand this. Yeah, when you actually want to create a variable of type, say integer, int a, and say you want to initialize it to 10, that's perfectly fine. Maybe you need like a couple more variables for some reason in your program. Your program could be doing a lot of things, so I don't really bother for what purpose. Maybe your program actually requires, say, another variable called b, which is initialized to 20, and so on. You can keep doing this. But what if some problem requires a bunch of numbers to be stored in similar type of data? Say for example, you come across a situation where you allow a user to enter some 100 numbers, and then you want to actually compute the sum of all the 100 numbers. So what would it be? How would the program look like? Suppose say, yeah, you can do it like this. A1, my first number is 1, and then I would allow the user to input another number. Int A2 is going to be equal to 2. Then I have int A3 is going to be equal to 3, and so on. After 100 numbers, so this is going to be A100. A100 is equal to 100. Now, the biggest headache actually is to compute the sum. In sum, you'll be writing the sum as, A1 plus A2 plus A3. Oh my god, I guess it would take the whole day to actually keep typing all the 100 numbers, all the 100 variable names. I mean, A1, A2, and you need to say A3, A4, and so on. It's getting so tired. Oh my god, what if the program is expecting the user to enter a million numbers? This looks so ridiculous. This way of writing a program looks very, very ridiculous. We can't do that. I won't say we can't do that, but it's not a very neat way of doing it. It's kind of like a messed up way of doing things. So now we don't need this. That's when something called as arrays comes into our rescue. So when we say int a is a variable name of 6, what the compiler is going to do is it's going to allocate 6 spaces like this. It's going to allocate 6 spaces like this. This is how it's going to look. A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, A of 4, A of 5, and A of 6. This is how I am going to actually access the numbers which is stored. When I say int A of 6 is equal to open bracket, close bracket, 5, 8, 9, 0, minus 1, 15, 5, all these numbers are actually going to get stored in this table. So behind the scene, your computer actually is creating a table. Your Java compiler is creating a table of this sort and putting these numbers 5, 8, 9, 0, minus 1, 15, 5. It's not like always it's going to be this numbers. You can put any numbers out here. You can say I'm going to put 100 over here. I'm going to put say a 300 here. I'm going to put a 19 here. See, if I say 6, I need to actually put 7 numbers. One more than the number of digit over here. If I put 6 here, I'm going to fill in 7 numbers. 19, say 50, say 67, say 1, say a 0, How many numbers I put in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. So this would be replaced by, say 100 over here. What's happening here? This would be 100. Oops. This would be 100. Why is it not printing 100 here? Okay, let it be 100. Oh no. Okay, there's something wrong with this thing. So let me actually keep it with a single digit number over here. Say 1. So I put in 1 here. I put in 8 here. I put in 9 here. I put in 0 here. I put in -1. Put in 15. And I put in 5. This is the way you actually create an array and fill in data into this. And what would you do? What would happen if you say system.out.println a of 0? The output is going to be 1. If you actually try to print what is there in the location a of 2, what is a of 2 pointing to? A of 2 is actually pointing to 9. The output would be 9. The only thing what you're supposed to remember, only thing which is slightly different is when you say a of 6, you're allocating 7 blocks, which is starting from 0. These are actually called cells. CELL, cell, or a cellar. This is actually a cell number 1, cell number 0. This is cell number 1. This is cell number 2, cell number 3, cell number 4, cell number 5, and cell number 6. Now let's actually write a small program to see how to work with arrays. Let's get started. So I'm creating a class by the name arrays. I'm just deleting whatever it types. So class arrays. Yeah, and I'm going to create a main function. Public static void main, and then I just have to create int a of 6 is equal to any numbers 100, 388, 456, -1, 89, 45 or 56, whatever. Mind you, if I am declaring this array, this is called as a name of the array. I forgot to tell you here. The name of the array is A. It can be anything. It can be AYY or it can be NUM. It can be anything. I just like to name it as A over here for simplicity. Array A. Excuse me. Now coming back to this, if you are declaring it as integer, you cannot store a decimal number. I cannot give 56.45. It would throw me a compile time error. So I can only store integers here because this is of type integer. So array is like a container. It's like a container which can store all these numbers. How many numbers it can store? It can store 6 plus 1 number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers has been stored. Now let's actually try to print the contents of every element in the array. So what do I need here? So I need to loop through int I is equal to 0. Because I need to index from the 0th location, I less than 6. Alright, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I less than or equal to 6. It has to be less than or equal to 6. The reason being, I need to index through 6 locations or until location number 6 or until cell number 6, starting from 0 to 6. So I've actually given 6 over here. I need to pass through the locations from 0 to 6, and I give I plus plus, and then I just give system.out.println a of I. Alright, let's compile it. What's this? What's expected? What's expected here? I don't know. A of 6, compile. Why? Three, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. I don't know. Now let me actually look into it. Alright, the thing what we actually figured out is like we don't have to specify the number over here. So we can actually just create an array without specifying the number and keep filling in how many ever elements we want. But we actually now have to keep track of how many elements are there in the array. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7 elements in the array, and we are actually going to refer them starting from index location 0, because always an array begins at a location called 0. So we have to go through locations from 0 to 6. If the size of the array actually is 7, we need to actually traverse the array from 0 to 6. Now compiled it, no syntax errors, close it. Now let's call the main function. See, what did we initialize the array to? We just initialized the array. Let me show the output here in a different window. See, we initialized the array to 100, 388, 567, -1, 89, 56, and 45. This is exactly what we have here. Yeah? Alright, close it. Now what if we have to do something meaningful using this array? What if we want to modify this program like we want to find the sum of all the numbers in an array? So it's very simple. All we have to do is int sum is equal to 0. Now when we are actually traversing the loop, all we have to do is we just have to do this. Find the sum of all the numbers in an array. So we just do it by sum is equal to sum plus a of I. As simple as that. Outside the loop, after the loop completes its execution, we just have to give system.out.println sum is equal to sum. That's it. So we actually creating an array, but we have to manually keep track of the size of the array. So the size of the array in this case is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the array size is going to be int size is equal to 7, and we need to actually traverse the array to size -1 times. Compile it, close it, run, call the main function. See, the sum of the array elements are 1, 2, 4, 4. As simple as that. Now let's make a small modification in the main program where we allow the user to actually enter the elements during runtime using scanner classes. So for that purpose, we're not supposed to initialize the array. We just have to int size is equal to, say we want the user to enter 10 numbers. Alright, we want the user to enter 10 numbers, since we just need 9 array locations because it's going to start from 0. Alright, so no, we want the user to actually enter 10 numbers. Fine, let's keep it aside, and we say int a is going to be equal to int a is going to be equal to int new int of size. Now if we want to actually just create an array and wait for the user to enter the input during runtime, this is a syntax for creating the array. This is a syntax for creating the array. We don't need this for loop. First we need to allow the user to actually enter the input, so for which we have to create a scanner class. Scanner IP is equal to new scanner system.in, followed by, we have to create a for loop here. For an int I is equal to 0, I less than size, I plus plus. So here we have to prompt the message to the user to enter the number into the array. System.out.println print enter a number. Then we have to use a of I is going to be equal to ip dot next int of. Alright, now this loop is going to take care of allowing the user to enter 10 numbers, because this loop is going to execute 10 times. That is 0 to 9. It's going to execute 10 times, and we are entering all the numbers. Then we have to write another loop where we are going to display all the numbers. Copy. And simply paste it. Since we already declared I, you don't have to redeclare it. You can just reuse it. Okay. Then I have to, declare I over here. I don't need sum for time being. I'm not computing the sum. I'm just like allowing the user to enter the array elements and just display the array elements. Previously, we created an array, we initialized the array before the runtime, and then we try to see the contents of the array. But now we are creating an array and allowing the user to enter the input during the program runtime. So this is going to be just going to be A of I. That's it. Then I don't need this. That's it. I just need to put a statement over here. System.out.println the contents or the array elements. The array elements are so on. So let me print A of I plus, let me actually have a space after every number. Alright, this makes sense. I don't need, okay, I need a thing over here. I don't need a sum. Delete it, compile it. Okay, I have to import the scanner class. Import java.util.scanner. Compile this, no syntax errors, close it. Now call the main function. Enter a number. I say my first number is 2. Enter another number, 3, 5, -1, 45, 567, 100, 456. How many numbers have I entered? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more numbers to go. 677, 566. See, the array elements are, the moment I enter the 10th number and hit enter, it's going to print all the 10 numbers which I've entered. 2, the first number, 3, the second number, 5, the third number, -1, the fourth number, and so on until 566. This is a very simple program where we allow the user to actually enter numbers into an array during runtime. Let's close this. Oh, did we clear it? Void main, just clear it. Close it. Now, this is all about like creating arrays of integers. Just like we actually create an array of integers, we can do the same to even strings. Just instead of an array, I just make size to say 5. If I actually just make it to string, and if I actually make this integer to string, that's it. Instead of asking the user to enter a number, enter a word. Instead of next int, I just have to use next. The array elements are. So let's see that. So before going to this, this is how it's going to be stored. If I say string names of is equal to Ted, Alex, Rex, and William. This is how, and the words or the strings in a string array is going to get stored. The name of this array actually is going to be, say, words. The name of the array actually is going to be words, where, word of 0 is going to contain the first element, which is a string by itself. That is going to go here, and word of 1 is going to actually have Alex, because it's basically the 0, 1, 2, and 3 are like room numbers. These are different rooms in an array. Array actually can be seen as a series of placeholders or series of rooms this room actually is going to store the word called Ted, or this cell is actually going to hold the word called Ted, what you're actually passing over here, and this cell actually is going to hold something called as Alex, and this is going to hold Rex, and this is going to hold William. So each one of these actually have an address. So I can also name this array as A, as simple as that. So I can reference, or I can get back what is actually stored in the 0th cell by using A of 0. I can just say, if I say print A of 2, it's going to print Rex. This is how it's actually going to store. So let's see a quick program. Using this, where instead of initializing it this way, we're just initializing it by allowing the user to do it. I've just declared a string of type. Okay, let's get it clear. Let me actually just keep it for the next program. Let me copy it and keep it safe. I just need to create. I don't need string either. I don't need this. I just need to string names is equal to. I just need to store 3 names in this. It's names of. It's just going to be string of names is equal to, say, USA. I'm going to store the country names, and this is going to be Russia, and this is going to be Germany. Alright, I store the names of 3 different countries, and I actually know the size of this array is going to be 3, the 3 words which actually is stored over here. Now for I equals to 0, I less than size I plus plus. Alright, I need to actually print the names of all the countries out here. Basically, I need to print what exactly are the contents of this array, which is called names. System.out.println. I need to print, names of I. So when this loop is executing 3 different times, it's going to print names of 0th location element, which is going to be USA, and names of 1st location element, which is going to be Russia, and names of 2nd location element, which is going to be Germany. Or we can also do this thing, names of Ted, Alex, Rex, and William. We can just try to store the same thing. Ted, Alex, what was the other name? Rex and William. Rex followed by William. Alright, but now the array size is going to be 4. Alright, let's compile it. Oops, it's compiling. Let me reset the Java virtual machine. We open the editor, compile it, then close it. Say, call the main function. See, Ted, Alex, Rex, and William are the contents of our array, which we initialized it using this syntax. Now we're just going to make a small modification to the same program, where we are going to allow the user to actually input the data. So I'm just going to copy the same thing over here. That's it. Except that string of names, I'm not going to initialize it over here. I have to give it as new string. How many names? I need to actually store 5 names. So I would actually create an array of string of size, whatever I defined it over here. Size is going to be 5, int size 5. So this is going to be here. Enter a word, can be more appropriate, like enter a name. So I'm actually going to enter, okay, this is going to be, instead of A, it has to be names, and over here it has to be names. This is an exact program like what we did last time for integers, where we allowed user to actually enter 10 different numbers during the runtime and then actually show it during the runtime as well when we execute the program. In a similar way, we are just creating an array of strings where we're going to store 5 different names in an array and display all the 5 different names. See here, the size of the array is 5. So this is a syntax for doing that. This is a syntax where I have to just create the array and keep the array ready, but not store anything into it during compile time. I'm going to store it during the runtime, where the program is going to ask the user to enter the names. So this loop actually is going to execute 5 times, but each time it's going to prompt the user to enter a name and getting it and storing the names in this array. And this loop actually is going to print the names, because this loop is going to execute 5 different times. Let me compile it. This program is very straightforward, nothing much to discuss about it. No syntax errors. Close it. Now let me call the main function. Enter a name. What name should I enter? I should enter, say, Rama. Then I would say Ted. Now I would actually say the other guy is like Simpson. Yeah. Enter another name. What name should I enter? Say Spidey. Enter another name. How many names have I entered? 1, 2, 3, 4. The last name is supposed to be entered now. So Bose. The array elements are Rama, Ted, Simpson, Spidey, and Bose. As simple as that. So this actually completes this video about like introduction to arrays. Of course, you can create an array of floating point numbers. You can create an array of, strings. You can create an array of integers. You can create an array of characters, whatnot. So just look into your books. The concepts of array must be clear to you by now. What we can do with arrays, and in the subsequent videos, we are going to discuss more number of problems which can be done more elegantly and efficiently using arrays. So until then, goodbye for now. So I guess I just have to stop this recording. Yeah, that's it. Bye for now.